Buff Nation!
Let's go.
Welcome into DNVR Buffs Prime Time. We are presented by Illegal Pizza, everyone's go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beers. Very special day of the show. CU's in the Big 12, and Jacob Politte, Colorado long snapper, on the show. What's up, man? How you doing?
Not too much. I'm excited to break all this stuff down and, get the ball rolling on what can be soon to come.
I must. So is that the correct pronunciation? Did
Yes.
you ask before?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Leave me alone.
I've heard it all too.
I was gonna ask, like, because your name looks like polite, do you feel a responsibility to be a nicer person?
That's a good question.
He showed up like 15 minutes early, so I was like, oh, he's living up to the way his name looks.
I think that's just a Coach Prime thing.
Let's go.
Early, so yeah, I know being late can cause some problems, and it's happened once before, and it didn't work out too well. So I don't like being late.
Let's tap into that a little bit. How did that work out for you?
So it was actually this winter. We were doing our mat drills that start at 6 a.m. My phone was on the charger, my alarm, which is also my alarm. And somehow in the middle of the night, I kick my phone off the side of the bed, falls off the charger. I wake up, there's light outside. Heart starts beating fast. I try to turn on my phone. My phone's dead. So I finally get my phone to charge like 5 minutes later, and it's like 6:45, and like my heart just sank. And then Coach Trevor made me run like a mile or something, which is way worse than a mat drill for me. So, but part of it. I think it happens. It's a canon event,
yes,
for sure. So it happens to everyone. But
I was gonna say, like, no one ever believes you when you say that, but everyone's been through it. You're like, oh, my phone fell off the charger and it died, and my alarm didn't go off, and it just sounds like such a lie. But like, we've all been there.
I don't want to be late.
Right.
Right. And like any athlete looking at this, like when you wake up and it's bright outside, you're screwed.
Yep.
You're from Lubbock. The Buffs are in the Big 12. How excited are you to potentially go back to Lubbock very soon and play a game?
I mean, I think I've seen, outside of the new guys in the conference, I think I've seen every single one of those Big 12 teams play at the Jones or at United Spirit Arena, the basketball arena.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited. I mean, I've been going to I went to dang near every Texas Tech football home game from like the time I was like third grade all the way to like my senior year. And so it'll be super cool just to, like, before I came to CU and before I was even a college football player, I was a fan of college football and the Big 12. So it means a lot to me.
So does that go back to like the Michael Crabtree days?
For sure. It definitely does. It goes back to Texas Tech beating Geno Smith and Tavon Austin at home, like 65-7. I was wearing navy and yellow because I was like, Tavon Austin was the man in college.
Oh, yeah.
And Geno Smith was also the man in college. Yep. And so I was like, I love these guys. So I want to root for them. I was wearing like some stupid yellow New Balance shoes. But, part of it. But so, I'm super excited.
I assume your whole family is or was Texas Tech fans. So were you like disowned for showing up in blue and yellow?
I think my dad, it was probably a little bit frowned upon.
Yeah.
But it's funny, my dad actually, so my first Big 12 memory is Justin Tucker making that kick against Nebraska. Because my dad was a Texas fan.
Okay.
Until we moved to Lubbock. He's from Lubbock, was a Texas fan.
Okay.
Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but
yeah, I
remember Justin Tucker making that kick against Nebraska. That's like my first, that's when I fell in love with football, oddly enough. Is Nebraska losing?
Let's go.
You fit right in, brother.
Any day Nebraska loses, even if it means Texas wins, it's a good day for us.
I'm pretty sure I started crying. Everyone was so excited. All the emotions just built up, and I started crying. And I remember like it was yesterday, but yeah.
I also fell in love with college football during a Nebraska loss, so we have that in common.
Heck yeah.
Big Patrick Mahomes guy?
Huge.
Oh.
I have a funny story about that. I know y'all probably don't love it, but
go ahead.
So I had a couple of Division III offers out of high school to play receiver, and I went on a visit to Howard Payne University in Brownwood, Texas.
Okay.
And
just throw wood on the end of it. It's probably in Texas.
I hope that's right. But it's a tiny town. Anyways, so I get there and they're like, we have a special guest coming to the game today. I'm like, who could possibly be here at this D3 school in the middle of nowhere in Texas? And they're like, Patrick Mahomes is going to be at the game. So the best man at his wedding was playing in his COVID year at this school.
Wow.
And so he came to the game. I literally have a picture with him with the guns up because I watched the first half and saw they were losing, and I was like, I'm not coming here. And
Wow.
so, but yeah, that's my Patrick Mahomes story.
Admirable.
So one thing that I love about the Big 12, and I don't think we got to talk about this much yesterday on the show, is the passion from the fan bases. And I know you haven't played in the Pac-12 yet, but you'll see it this year. It's just not the same. It's
Right.
not the same. Like, let's see, what road trips do we go to UCLA?
We
Yes.
do.
Yep, like that.
I've seen that stuff.
It's so lame, dude. Like the Rose Bowl, amazing venue, and then
Right.
you like get in there on a Saturday, and it's empty, and it's so weird. Like all of these schools, it's just, I don't know, it's not the same, and that's probably the thing I'm most excited about going back to the Big 12 is, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, even Iowa State, and of course West Virginia. Like these are like real, true blue college football fan bases.
Right. I think the thing about that too is like in LA, like there's more to do with football, but in a lot of these Big 12 cities,
Yep.
like they're working all week so they can go to the game and have a good time on Saturday and support their team. And I think that's the biggest difference I'll see between the Pac-12 and the Big 12.
And I was going back and forth with some people on Twitter about this because I was like, when we went to the Big 12, I was so convinced, like, oh man, or to the Pac-12, I was so convinced, like, the road trips are just going to be so much better. And the thing is, if you're just going to the place to visit it, of course, yeah, you'd probably rather go to Seattle than Ames, Iowa. But what I realized is, like, I fly in on a Friday. I'm just going to go out drinking on Friday night. I'm going to wake up and go to the game on Saturday, and I'm leaving Sunday morning. It's not like I'm exploring the city.
Right.
And so then you go to these places like Stillwater, and you're like, this is a better experience because everyone's out partying on Friday night. They're all up early tailgating on Saturday.
Yeah.
The game atmosphere is packed. So, yes, in a vacuum, but like you can go visit LA and Seattle and have the same exact experience every time. Going to a football game doesn't actually enhance it in the Pac-12 cities.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
There was a comment just there in the chat. I mean, you played at Jackson, obviously. Would
Yeah.
you compare like the level of fandom that Jackson had to like a Big 12 fan base?
Yeah. Yeah, oddly enough, I definitely would. I mean, we have our like Tiger Walk and buses are driving through in Jackson and people are tailgating all over the parking lot, and that's how it is at Texas Tech and for my experiences. And you can walk as far as you want and you'll find a tailgate.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that's how it is here, but I don't even where do people tailgate here?
I was just about to say that's the problem.
Yeah.
So on the outdoor practice field, up on
Yeah.
Franklin Field, we call it. I don't know if you guys still call it that.
Yeah.
Okay. They line that with like tents, so it's not the whole thing. It's just the outside.
Okay.
I think because they don't want to completely destroy your guys' practice field.
Right.
And then it's really just like all the lots around. So that's the one thing is there's not that giant parking lot where everyone is tailgating, but it is kind of like tailgates as far as you can walk because they're just all in different pockets of the campus.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. But back to your question, I would definitely compare it. It's definitely comparable, and I loved it. That's kind of more my speed, right? And so
Oh, yeah.
I think it'll be sweet.
That's awesome, man. Let's get into who could be next, I guess. Oregon had a meeting today. Everyone's saying it's because of Dan Lanning's contract.
Right.
He was just extended, but Jeff Schwartz had a tweet yesterday, and he's obviously an Oregon alum, and he threw their name out there and saying that this is probably them. How do you guys feel about Oregon? Maybe Washington, though. I think Oregon's the big one, right, that we want.
It would be really interesting to pull in Oregon, especially just because everyone's been tying them to the Big Ten, I don't know, ever since USC and UCLA jumped. It's just been like, okay, well, Oregon and Washington are next, Oregon and Washington are next. I think it would be a pretty great pull from the Big 12 if they were able to get Oregon. And, the way that we've been envisioning this is that it might eventually go to just 2 mega conferences.
Yeah.
But if you start pulling in schools like Oregon to the Big 12, maybe you start envisioning 3, or maybe the ACC kind of gets into that arms race and it stays with like 4 major conferences rather than 5, and the Pac-12 is the only one that gets left behind.
Yeah.
For sure. It'd be interesting. I mean, they obviously bring the most value of any of the other remaining Pac-12 schools and would just legitimize the Big 12 in basketball even further, and in football, of course. And then just the 4 time zones thing.
Yep.
Be perfect, man. And it would really enhance the league. It'd be exciting, honestly. Washington, though.
There hasn't been any buzz, really.
No.
So, I mean, they've also felt like Big Ten all along. We'll see. Like, this whole thing is happening so fast, and I think the Pac-12's head is probably just spinning right now. Like, Colorado is kind of just the first domino, and now everyone else is like, okay, well, we probably got to go. Like, you're down to 9 teams in the Pac-12 right now.
Yep.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. All right, we'll do a draft of Big 12 cities. Actually, real quick, what does the rest of the team think of this move? I know you're from Lubbock, and not a lot of guys are from Big 12 areas, but what is the reaction right now amongst the guys?
I've only got to talk about it really with Jeremiah Brown, and he actually went back home to Lubbock with me last weekend, and he enjoyed it. He's from the country down in Florida, so he enjoyed it a lot. But I mean, I think it's just super exciting to get to play like where a lot more of us are from, right? Like, there's not much of us from Eugene or even LA, I don't think, really.
Not
Except
really.
maybe some guys that were here before or whatnot.
Which those guys aren't there
Yeah,
anymore.
they're gone now.
Yeah, fair enough. But, yeah, I think it'll be super cool. And I haven't really talked to too many of them, but I know, like, for me, it means a lot to me just growing up and watching it my whole life. So,
Absolutely. I have a couple more things.
Go ahead.
One, we got to start making our list of where we're going when we get to these cities. So where are we going when we get to Lubbock? Like, where's the bar? Where's this food spot?
yeah, definitely got to go to Broadway when y'all get to Lubbock, Texas. I think food spot, I'll shout out Blue Sky Burgers and Fries out there.
Okay. Is that like a little bit like off the highway?
Yeah.
I think
yeah,
I've been
it
there.
is.
I think
Yeah.
I've been there. And then
Great.
there's another place. Is it Spanky's?
Spanky's
Yep.
sure is. Yeah.
Big 12 guy over here.
I've seen some Twitter stuff that it's fallen off a little bit.
Oh.
I haven't been in a
A
while.
lot of restaurants have, honestly,
Yeah.
since COVID.
Yeah, it's tough. But, yeah, Mexican food's great out there. I have to get Mexican food every time I go back to Texas. And so, yeah, I think that's definitely what I would do.
Have you dabbled in the Mexican food in Colorado yet?
I went to Chewy's.
Okay.
So that doesn't really
That
count.
is, yeah,
but
that's just Tex-Mex.
yeah,
Have you been to
so-
Illegal Pete's?
I have. Yeah.
And?
Fire.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
What was
Another
your
stamp
order?
of approval.
I think I just got white rice chicken and cheese and guac. I
Hell yeah,
believe.
man.
Just kind of keep it simple, but super good.
There's a place pretty close to where you guys are at called Efren's.
Okay.
It's like right by those hotels where like the coaches and stuff were staying.
Yeah.
Go there.
Okay.
It's fire.
Sweet.
Yep.
I will. I'll have to.
All right, we'll get into our Big 12 cities draft. But first, take on the sun with gear built to last with our friends at Shady Rays. They've got you covered with this summer heat with their amazing sunglasses, durable frames, extremely clear polarized optics. They're all backed by their lost and broken replacements. Even if you don't like them, Shady Rays will replace them, no questions asked. Shop the entire collection at the Park Meadows Mall or go to shadyrays.com. Use the code DNVR. You'll get 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. And you can try for yourself. The Shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. And then Shador's number 2. Did you see what we did at the Pac-12 Media Day?
I sure did. Sure did.
Have you tried the sauce?
I haven't. I need to.
We'll have to get you on it. What did you think of what we did, though?
Oh, perfect. That was great content. It's funny. After I hit the portal and leaving Jackson State, my dad was like, "Please get me some of that barbecue sauce." And I was so ready to get home. I was like, "We'll get it eventually. I'm going back home." So
You guys can get your hands on Shador's number 2 barbecue sauce. Go to plbse.com. Use the code ALLCITY, all caps, all one word at checkout, and you'll get 10% off your order of Shador's number 2 barbecue.
All right, a couple more things. One, your number chain slightly smaller than Shador's.
slightly. I tried to get 21, but they wouldn't give it to me. So I think I have to earn it.
There you
That's
go.
right.
Maybe if I have a good year, I can move to 21.
There you go.
Once Shiloh leaves.
Yeah.
That's wide
You're
open.
next
at
in
that point.
line.
Right.
Can we talk a little bit about the art of long snapping?
Let's do it, please.
Yeah, we can. And I'll be real with y'all. No one grows up wanting to be a long snapper, right? But I did grow up wanting to play in the Big 12. And, like, interesting enough, I was talking to my dad about it yesterday, about just being in the Big 12. Like, there was coaches that I talked to that, like, basically said I wasn't good enough to play in the Big 12, right? And now here I am. And, I mean, long snapping, it's such a mental thing. Like, I'll get out with Jace and play golf a lot just because it's like you have that one chance, and if you mess it up, you're screwed.
Love that.
Like, everything else is messed up. And so
There's a lot of parallels between being a specialist in golf.
so much. And, like, I do that to kind of keep my head straight, but a lot of it's just technique and really confidence. Like, it's weird. Like, I've been in slumps before and all that stuff, and it's hell.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's really just confidence and, you know, having – like being able to lean back on what you've practiced before. It's like other positions, but like when I was playing receiver, like I could just try really hard and like get away with it.
Yeah.
I can't try really hard to snap
Right.
and get away with it. Like if things will not go how I want it to. Like I can't out effort long snapping.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's been the biggest change for me. And so yeah, like that's the biggest thing I tell everyone. Like you cannot out effort long snapping. Like you can try as hard as you want, but if you're not like don't have your technique right and whatnot, like it's just not going to work for you.
Well, and it's similar to golf in that same way too, where it's like you just have to focus for a couple seconds.
Right.
You have to like dial in, and you don't realize it until after you like let that focus slip that you're like, what? How did I let that happen?
Right.
You know.
Right.
All right. So we did the would you rather with Travis. I'm going to do it with you.
Okay.
Would you rather get the snap, go down, and get a tackle? Maybe it's like a 10-yard gain. Or do you want the down the ball on like the 1 or the 2?
Oh, definitely down the ball. I did that a couple times last year, and it felt good. I felt like an actual athlete, you know. And so yeah, that's definitely the fun part. Like on pooch kicks last year and stuff. We'd be like right outside of Mata's range. We'd be able to punt it, and like I was basically a gunner last year on our punt scheme at Jackson State, and so that, having a receiver background and whatnot, like they trusted me to be the guy to try to down the ball, and it was super fun. So
that's great. You got to tell the other guys like, hey, if they don't return it, like let me down it.
Yeah, exactly. Like y'all, I don't get shine.
Yeah, exactly.
At least let me pick up the ball.
Just want to touch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it more difficult snapping for a field goal or a punt, or are they pretty similar?
I would say punt just because of the distance. Like, there's more room for error.
Yeah.
But field goals can be pretty, like, it's all mental, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just depends. Like, there's been games where, like, I have to, like, really, like, focus really hard. But there's also been games where I just go out there and just kind of ball, basically. And so, yeah.
Love that, man. True athlete.
Try to be.
All right, we ready for this draft?
Let's do it.
All right.
I don't know if I'm
Hold on.
ready.
Can we talk about what it means for CU to join the best basketball conference in the country?
Oh, please.
You know, it's so funny you bring that up because this has been a big topic on Twitter the last 24 hours. Yeah. And a lot of like people who are CU basketball fans first don't love this.
Really?
Yes. And I personally, you know, I love all sports.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. And so I guess there's two sides of this. One side is my side, which is more money for the school. Obviously, the football program is going to be bringing in more money. They already are. And that's a rising tide that raises all boats, right? The other part of this is like CU pretty much is like good for a top 5 finish in the Pac-12 every year. And unlike the football team, a lot of their recruiting is done in California. So the people who are feeling negative about it are saying, okay, well, we lost our California footprint. We're now going into easily the best basketball conference in the country.
Yeah.
And there's a chance that, you know, we're no longer considered like a top program in the conference, and that hurts recruiting. I'm on the other side, but I guess I can see both sides.
Yeah. I mean, I think the team has drastically improved from last year when I went to games and watched.
Yep.
Like already, I know Eddie Lampkin.
Yeah.
Like I watched him when I was in Lubbock.
Yeah.
When they came to TCU came to Lubbock. I've been to Fort Worth and watched Texas Tech play TCU, and Eddie was playing. And like we have, and Cody Williams, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, big time.
Yep.
Right. Tristan De Silva stays.
Yep.
KJ Simpson stays.
I love this. I love
I
that you're
know, this
dialed
is
in
great.
on basketball.
I'm a big hoops guy, but I mean, we just have so much momentum, and then I think going to a conference like the Big 12 where you have the blue bloods like Baylor and Kansas
yeah.
and those type of teams, like
Even Kansas State has a pretty good basketball history.
especially now.
Like
That
Houston.
coach-
Yep.
right?
Houston.
100%. I think it'll add to not only like, I think part of what Coach Prime's doing has maybe overshadowed some parts of this, but I think joining a huge basketball conference like the Big 12 will definitely raise everything.
Well, in that conference arms race that we're talking about, whether it goes to 2 or 4 or 3, like having the best basketball conference should help the Big 12 a lot.
Right.
Because a lot of times we do get in a one-track mind where it's all about football, but basketball is huge too. And it's kind of why I want Arizona to come with.
Yeah.
Just because they're the one school in the Pac-12 that has like real basketball culture behind them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, two things. Just on the team this year, I mean, they're obviously put in a great situation, and it's all right in front of them, right? You have a good season this year. You have a strong out-of-conference schedule. You make the tournament. I mean, you're set to go into the Big 12 and succeed. And then also, again, I mean, I talked a lot about this yesterday with the conversation that Brett Yormack had with Joe Klatt, and talking about basketball. UConn's still out there. And there's a possibility that with this new Big 12 format, that they'll separate the football from the basketball in terms of the TV deals. And they're talking about that for later down the line. So they're Gonzaga, Steven says, too. Like, they're talking about all these
basketball-only
teams.
schools.
Yeah.
Like, I look at some of the success that Tad Boyle has had since he got here. Obviously, when he got here, actually, it was the last season in the Big 12. So he's been here a long time. But some of the best players that he had, Andre Robertson, Texas. George King, Texas. Alec Burks was from St. Louis or Missouri area. So that's, Big 12 footprint. A lot of they've had some great players come from those areas of the country. So I don't think it's all like, oh, you're not gonna be able to go into LA anymore. Like, you're just gonna have different hotbeds, and it'll be a little bit of a challenge. But also, like, Tad Boyle played at Kansas.
Yeah.
It's not like he's been a West Coast guy his whole life. I think that they can have success there, and I think it's going to be obviously an interesting challenge and a different challenge, but it should be like, I guess my approach to it is I want to embrace that challenge, not be negative. Oh, there's so many good schools in here. How are we ever going to succeed? It's like, all right, let's figure out how we get up there. And with the athletic department actually soon being on good financial footing, we should be able to put the resources into it to be successful.
Exactly. This is nothing but a good thing. I can't help but see it as that. Like, it's all right in front of you to become one of the premier basketball programs in the country.
You would know this. Like, in sports, you have to have that anyone, anywhere, anytime mentality. If you start being like, oh man, those teams are so good, like, you've already lost.
Yep.
Right. I kind of see Colorado's like at a stage that Texas Tech was in 2018, 2017. Like, they've been like in the middle of the pack for so long, and then that year 2019, like they finally get some guys. Jarrett Culver, homegrown kid from Coronado, Lubbock, Texas, just takes them all the way to the chip, and then boom, like you have another like powerhouse in the Big 12. And I think with the guys that we're bringing in, you get a 5-star in Cody Williams. You have the talent that's there. You have a coach he's coached with the USA basketball, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think going against that type of competition instead of playing like who are like the worst basketball teams in the pack.
Cal.
Right. Yeah. Playing the Cals.
Oregon
Shout
State's
out
been down.
Shout out Jalen Tyson. Texas Tech transfer to Cal. That's
There
my
you
guy.
go.
But yeah, I think just playing all those teams week in, week out, especially once you get to the tournament, the teams you're playing aren't as difficult because you've been playing these teams in the Big 12 twice a year, every year, right? And so I think that's a big thing for it.
I'm excited to have you on to talk some basketball once football season's over.
I'd love to.
Who's your NBA team?
That's a scary question.
I'm going to disappoint a lot of people. I'm a LeBron guy.
I knew it. I knew you shouldn't have asked.
I mean, the chat's LeBron fans. Everyone else on the team are LeBron fans. It is what it is.
I mean, I'll say this. I was born in 2003, right? And so LeBron gets drafted in 2003. My dad goes to a finals game in 2007 when the Spurs swept the Cavs.
Yep.
So I'm watching it on TV, and I see LeBron James. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm in love. fell in love with
I'm
basketball.
sensing a pattern here where you always zig away from what your parents like.
Yeah, that could be true. You know, like, you have that like rebel stage when like you're a teenager and
Yep.
everything. I had it when I was 4 years old watching LeBron. So
Yeah, we always kind of ask people, like, especially on our Broncos show, I'm like, how'd you become a Broncos fan? And, like, half the people are like, well, my dad was a Raiders fan, so I just picked the Broncos to piss him off.
yeah, it's
I'm
funny.
like, all right.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this draft. Let's have Jacob go first, I guess.
Well, we'll let you. You can choose.
Do you want to go
Which
first, or do
pick
you want
you
to
want?
defer?
Is it Snake?
Yes.
It is Snake.
I'll
Great
take
question.
the third pick.
All right,
Great question. It's a seasoned vet here.
you go first, Ryan.
All right, I will take.
Boulder's out.
Boulder's
right?
out. Yes.
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 Fair.
Or else that person would just automatically
Right.
win. All right. I'm going off my own experience here. Or I'm going away from my own experience here and just picking the one that I think I'm going to like the best.
Okay,
Give me Morgantown, West Virginia.
let's go. Great pick.
I just see those games and I see the fans there. It seems insane.
Yeah.
So that is going to be my first Big 12 trip, although we'll probably just be going to all the games at that point. But if I was just picking one to go on my own, that would be my first one because I haven't been there yet and it looks sick.
All right.
Sorry, in West Virginia?
Yep.
I'll go Stillwater, just because
It's a good pick.
the Big
It is.
12. We talked about all these fan bases. Oregon State, Oklahoma State has a very passionate fan base, of course.
Yep.
And what you said, they're kind of just live there for Oklahoma State football.
Right.
So I was thinking about this. Like Colorado comes back to the Big 12. Our traditional Big 12 rival is gone. You know, we're partnerless. Oklahoma State just loses Oklahoma. We're both, looking for maybe that's the rivalry.
There you go. Who you got, Jacob? Do you need a list?
No, I got it.
Okay.
I think it'd be a shame if I didn't go Lubbock here
Okay, all right.
for sure.
Smart.
And who knows?
Please
If,
the hometown fans.
that's why I picked third, because I could have back to back, and I could pick
Yep.
Lubbock first, and then I could pick. I'm gonna have to go with Fort Worth.
Okay.
Keep it in
go.
Texas.
Nice,
Yes.
man.
Stocking up on Texas.
Dude, Fort Worth is like it's a big city with a small town feel, and I think that's what you're going to get in a lot of these Big 12 cities. But I've had a blast in Fort Worth before, and it's just super like convenient, but you can also have a good time. Next, can relax, and you can also drive 20 minutes to a Rangers game or a Cowboys game, and
That is nice.
it's lovely.
Well, we will be there in 37 days.
Yep, 37. How pumped are you to go back there for
So stoked.
game one?
I can't even like fathom that I'm playing there still.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
That's so cool.
We are going to be bringing a lot of Buffs fans down
Yep.
there. In fact, good time for me to plug this. We just added more tickets to our stock. So if you guys want to do either hotel with us and tailgate and game with us, you can do that. Or if you just want to do tailgate and game tickets, those are available on the website right now. So go to thednvr.com, hit the drop down on events, and you'll see it right there. Buffs at TCU. We just restocked, and I want to sell all these out, so we have a massive section of Buffs fans going crazy. I already know there's going to be a bunch that aren't even traveling with us, but let's add to the list, and we'll have to hit up Jacob about some spots to go to in Fort Worth on Friday night.
For sure.
Although it is an early morning on Saturday.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst. Dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, my next pick, I'm going to take Houston,
Okay.
just because it's Houston for first off, but great basketball team right now, coming up in football. They've actually kind of, been around in football for a while, just a really successful program. Kevin Sumlin, Tom Herman, all those teams. I think they'll be a great addition to the Big 12. I think there'll be, maybe some road bumps this year in year one, but, down the line, this could be one of the better programs in the Big 12 and just a fun place to go to. It's Houston.
Shout out Case Keenum.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to stay away from big cities because I feel like that's what the Pac-12 has, and that's what I got kind of bored of. So I am going to go to a place that I've been many times for Buffs traveling there, and it's always a good time. This is like a classic college town where there's just nothing else but the college, but it's sick. Lawrence, Kansas. And, of course, basketball games there are crazy.
Yep.
Their basketball fans are wild, man.
Yeah.
They have all these different chants and stuff, and they're all like perfectly on cue and like they're all on pitch. It almost feels like a cult.
Yeah.
Being in that stadium is crazy, but even just like the bars down there, the food around there is good. Obviously, you get some of that Kansas City barbecue coming over. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Lawrence, Kansas.
I went my experience with Kansas fans. I went to this is a crazy story, but do you remember Devontae Graham?
Yeah.
He plays for I think he plays for the Spurs now.
Okay.
Somehow, when I was like sophomore in high school, my friend had him added to play Call of Duty with him. I ended up playing Fortnite with him for like a year and a half, 2 years. I went and
so
watched
dope.
him play in San Antonio in the Final Four.
Oh,
and those
shit.
they got smacked by Villanova. But those fans are so deep. Like they love basketball over there. And their football team played better this year.
Jaden Daniels, man.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like even just their football team being decent, they were putting like big crowds in the stadium.
Yeah.
And it's just like that doesn't happen in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
No.
You have another pick.
Oh,
do.
I do?
Yeah, Snake.
Okay, I'm going back to back here. Let me go with, oh man. I'm going to take Ames because I really don't like Manhattan, Kansas. So give me Ames and another place with like a cool basketball history and then just a great football town. Iowa is just a great football state in general. I think Iowa City's a little better than Ames, but Ames is good, man. They've got good fans.
All right.
AMES. Also, the people in Iowa are ridiculously nice.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Cool. We'll be welcome there, you're saying?
Yes, you'll be like uncomfortably welcomed.
All right.
You're
Yeah.
like, why is everyone so nice?
Their Twitter fans are pretty kind. Surprising. Them and Tech fans are like besties on
Yeah.
Twitter. It's odd.
That's
It's like the
awesome.
opposite of Nebraska, who actually the Nebraska fans in person are nice, which you wouldn't expect because they are a nightmare on Twitter.
Oh,
They
my
are
gosh.
vile.
Yeah.
Yes.
Vile. I'm going to take Manhattan, Kansas. And I grew up a Michigan fan. I can't remember what game it was. Michigan played Kansas State in Tempe in a bowl game a while ago. And I just remember driving from New Mexico to Tempe and seeing so many Kansas State bumper, license plates, bumper stickers, all this stuff. We get to the stadium and they traveled, man. They were rabid. And this was a 7-8 win team. They end up winning the game. Just that passion always stuck with me. They're one of the better teams in the Big 12 right now. I'd be excited to go there.
Fun fact: Colorado, second as we enter the Big 12, second in the Big 12 in Big 12 championships.
Yep.
Yep. And championship
saw
game
that.
appearances, I think, too.
Yes.
All right, round us out, Jacob.
Yeah. So definitely not Waco, right?
That's a hard pass for me.
My mom went there, transferred.
Yeah.
I got to go. I don't know if y'all saw Dana Beer's little tour he did from Barstool.
I didn't see it. Where'd he go?
He went around to Lubbock to all these schools to choose his fandom. He was also worked on the documentary while we were at Jackson State. So me and him
that's awesome.
him and I became buddies, but he chose Cincinnati, and that's who I'm going to go with.
Nice pick.
Yeah, Cincinnati, Ohio, Skyline Chili.
Yep. Have you had it?
No. he said it was good though, so he's a big guy, so I'm gonna trust his food taste.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I had it when I was drunk. I liked it.
I'm-
That
Pass that
enhance it.
test.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Cincinnati, though, because this program's really been on the come up. It's a new kind of area for the Big 12. It's a bit further north, I guess maybe it's closer to Missouri and places like
Yeah.
that. I don't know a map. But I'm just excited for them, and I'm excited to see what they do in the Big 12. And again, kind of like Houston, I think they actually add something in terms of, the week-to-week schedule and just competitive nature of that program. I'm excited for them.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this. You just talked about the tour that Dana Beers did. And I was actually thinking about this morning. I was like, everyone calls it a truck stop conference.
Yeah.
What if we, next season built, a RV, Jake, with a studio in it, took it around week by week? Because most of these places are pretty drivable from Colorado.
Yeah.
All of Texas is, Oklahoma. And we just, had the truck stop tour.
That'd be so much fun.
Oh, and Texas gas stations are the best.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's something to look forward to.
Hell yeah, man. Orlando with the snub.
Is the draft over?
We
It
did
is.
3 rounds, man.
Okay. Yeah, Orlando probably deserved to be in there, but like I said, I wasn't picking big cities. Waco's getting defended in the comments.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that.
I'm
I'm not sure how. Yeah.
Not for me.
What else did we skip out on? Provo. I think that was a good skip.
Provo's got to be, I mean, right there with Waco in last place for me. But you're a Utah guy.
I'm going to call myself a Utah guy. I'm not going to defend it. No,
You have lived in Utah. How's that?
It's cool, man. It's right by the mountains. It's actually pretty similar, like weather-wise, to here. It's nice, but there's some things that are different out there for sure. Provo being very different
Yes.
than most places.
Anything else that we didn't touch on?
Trying to think of the other schools.
We did before the show talk a little bit about Austin.
Yeah, we did. Sadly.
Big horns down guy.
Such a huge horns down guy.
Let's
It's not
go.
even funny.
This is a Horns Down podcast
Yes.
network.
I love that so much. I just being from Lubbock, I can't stand them.
Yeah.
I actually went to Austin whenever, I want to say 20. This was my freshman year of college for my birthday. They played on the Texas Tech played on the 19th in Austin. My birthday was on the 20th of February. So I flew down, went with my buddies, and they beat UT in Austin. And
Sick.
like half the crowd is red. And I'm like, this is so sick.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Guys, get your questions in now. We'll get to them at the end of the show for Jacob. I just have a few more questions about Jackson State and everything. We talked about this downstairs. I want you to tell the chat your journey, how you got to Colorado, to
Yeah.
Jackson, all that stuff, because it's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, so I'm sure the chat's seeing a little bit of bias towards Lubbock, but I had a couple D3, I had 3 D3 offers to play receiver. One of them was to play receiver and long snap at the NAIA called Wayland Baptist. I'm super thankful for them. Coach Henderson offered me. It was my first offer. I was stoked. It wasn't the nicest place ever. They played on a field that was in my district for my high school football. And but he was like, don't commit right now. Don't even make a decision. You're good enough to go play somewhere and really play. And that meant a lot to me. And then Howard Payne, like I said, and then Oklahoma Panhandle State, which sounds made up. But yeah, and so I was I don't really want to play in front of friends and family
Yeah.
my whole life, my whole career. And so I was just kind of waiting. And I was actually enrolled I was telling him I was enrolled at Texas Tech. I was going to live a super comfortable life, right? My best friend was going to be my roommate in the dorms. I was super stoked. I wasn't super stoked, but I was just kind of I guess this is it. And I really was okay with being done playing for that time, but I was something didn't sit right. And then about 2 weeks before I graduated high school, I get a DM from Hunter Holmes, who I'm actually in one-on-one kicking, who I'm assisting a camp with in Denver
Nice.
for them this weekend, which will be sweet. But he DM'd me on Twitter, no idea who this guy is. And he was like, hey, you're a Division I long snapper. I was like, that's sweet, but I'm a Division I student right now, so I don't know what to tell you. And he was like, would you be open to it? I was like, sure. Why not? Keep my options open. I hadn't snapped in 4 months, something like that. And, yeah. So he hits me up another day. I'm in my 3rd period forensics class. And he says, hey, Jackson State needs a long snapper. They want you. That's where Deion Sanders coaches. I'm like, oh, my gosh. So then I'm doing all my research on Jackson, see that it's HBCU, do my research on that. And that didn't matter to me at all. And just Coach Prime being there, it was funny. Coach Ricard, or my special teams coordinator, will laugh, but he was like, we have plenty of white coaches and stuff. I was like, I don't care, dude. It was super funny, but shout out him. But, yeah, so me and my mom go down there and visit, drive 10.5 hours to Jackson, which is the worst drive on the planet. You're just on I-20 for 9 hours. And we go, and I'm like, it's kind of whatever. And then I'm walking through, and my mom just said, I think you're meant to be here. And I agree. And like without that experience, I would never ever be here. Like no team really gave me a chance besides those D3 schools, and they really didn't do their research. They just needed numbers. That's how I kind of saw it. And so, yeah, like they really gave me a chance. They let me develop my first year in redshirt, and I still got to play like 4 of the more important games. Like played Alabama A&M, blew them out. I played against Alabama State for homecoming, which HBCU homecoming is huge, like a huge deal, 60,000 people. And then I think I played the next one against Bethune-Cookman, and then our other snapper came back. He was done faking an injury. Shout out Paxton. But and then the night before the celebration, or the day before the Celebration Bowl, the morning, I wake up to my teammate coming in and saying, Paxton has COVID. And I'm like,
oh man,
I haven't played in like 4 weeks. Like I was enjoying the whole bowl experience, eating my snacks, eating everything I could see, just chilling. And then he's like, yeah, so, get ready. And I was like, and I ended up having my best game. And then this last year, having a really good year, starting all year. Like, really fought through some adversity that, like, early in the season, through some BS that I had to overcome. And, all this stuff around me, and really had a good year. Was a FCS All-American. And, like, the kid that was enrolled at Texas Tech never even dreamt of having the opportunity to do that. And even now, being a player in the what's eventually going to be the Big 12, right? Like I remember going to a Texas Tech specialist camp, and I was 175. I was the only underclassman snapper there, and so you go, and then they put you in this line, and you're 15 yards away from the punter. I've snapped at 12 yards my whole high school career because, like, in high school it don't really matter too much like that.
Yeah.
And Mark Tomerdahl, who's actually the special teams coordinator at TCU now, he was at Texas Tech, like went and wrote my name down. Like he was like, if you have a good snap, like I'll stop and write your name down. I stopped, wrote my name down, and I was like, I can legitimately do this. They're like, if you put on like 20-something pounds, come back next summer for camp, then like we'll definitely be looking at you, right? Like I'm a hometown kid, snapper. COVID happens. I don't get to go to the camp. I put on 20 pounds. I showed up to my summer workouts at 195, and I was just like, dang. And then after my season was over, they texted me, and they were like send us a video of you snapping and stuff. They got me mixed up with someone I thought they already had on the team.
Oh,
wow.
And so that sucked for me at first.
Yeah.
But I mean, now I wouldn't have it any other way. You know?
Man.
So yeah.
that's awesome.
That's that journey. So how many years of eligibility do you have left?
3 more.
So it's fair to assume that before you're done, you will probably get to play on the field in Lubbock.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'll be
That's gonna
super
be sick. That's gonna be so sick. That whole just totally full circle.
Yep. How much fun is it right now being in the facility? Because it looks like you guys are just having an absolute ball.
No one has more fun than us, I don't think, in the country.
Let's go.
I was thinking about talking about that on the way over here. Like at Jackson State when we won, it was so fun, and like I think these guys in the locker room understand like we have to win if we want to have fun. It's like all the fun you see us having on, on Well Off Media and Reach the People, Darius and all them, Neely. Like, we're having fun, but we're working. Like, there's so many guys that have completely transformed their bodies. Like, I got here at 205, maybe, and I'm 220 right now.
Sheesh.
Nice, man.
Shout out Coach Mo. He's done a wonderful job. But, like, these guys are really working. And now we have some dudes that have real raw talent and size. And then, like, one of the best coaching staffs in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Brew's a world-class tight end guy, right? Like, I don't think there's a better tight end coach in the country. And then we also have the only coach in the country with a gold jacket, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's super sweet. But I'm super excited about this team this year. And people ask me all the time, like, how many games do you think y'all are going to win? To me, like, I wouldn't be surprised if we just balled out.
Let's go.
I think
man.
there is a low ceiling just with everyone being new, but or a low floor. Yeah, with everyone being new. But I think the ceiling is as high as it's ever been for CU in the last 10, 15 years. So.
Yeah, we had one. Like we made the Pac-12 South Championship in 2016, but other than that, it's been a lot of losing.
Yeah.
And you talk about kind of everyone being new and that challenge, but when I see you guys in those videos and we talk about the fun you guys are having, like it feels like the chemistry was almost immediate.
Yeah. I will say when I first got here at the last semester, it was kind of weird. Like there was definitely like we had our cliques, right? Like the new guys were like fairly enough, like pretty freaked out.
Yeah.
Right? Like they were like kind of not really shrugged us off, but like they didn't want to talk to the new guys, right?
Right.
And I get that. But now like we have the guys we have now, like we were all brought here for this one mission.
Yep.
It's almost like the Avengers.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where I probably don't fit into that. I maybe like
You got a suit, bro.
yeah, I need a
You're the
suit.
only one with a microphone right now. You can
Yep.
be whoever you want.
I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, I think it'll be super cool, and guys are meshing really well. And that's one thing Coach Prime talked about. And actually, Chauncey Billis was there yesterday. I went up and introduced myself to him. You better believe.
Nice.
You know,
Mr.
legend.
Big Shot.
Yeah. And he just told us, like, the sooner y'all gel, the sooner y'all can really get together and really make this program go. So
Awesome, man.
That's awesome. I love how it's just like casually like, oh, Chauncey Billups was there
Yeah.
yesterday. Like Rick Ross was there before that.
I'm getting ready for a game in Jackson, and Snoop Dogg's in our locker room. Like, what is going on? Yeah.
So
It's incredible.
Do you have anything else? Should we open it up?
Yeah, let's see what the people have.
All right. But first, real quick, a word from our friends over at Saturday Neon. How's the spirit of the Buffs today?
Let's see. It's great.
Oh,
Boom.
nice and bright.
Heck yeah.
Saturday Neon's a company started by two friends and former college roommates at CU. They make officially licensed collegiate logo LED neon signs. They're based out of Denver. Everything ships with what you need to mount, power, and dim every sign. They're easy to install and operate. They got CU. They got 19 other schools. Throw that stuff in your office, dorm room, basement. Go to SaturdayNeon.com. Use the code DNVR for 10% off your order today, and you get free shipping on orders over $200. Then shout out to Backus and Shanker. You guys know what it is. Smash that Shador line. They're helping Colorado families win. They've been doing so for more than 25 years. No fees to speak with them about your case. No fees while they work on your case. And no fees unless they win your case and win money for you. They help with all kinds of injury cases where you weren't at fault. Car accidents, motorcycle, rideshare, pedestrian, trucks. And can even help if you're injured at work. Again, call them at 222-2222 to find out if you have a case for free. Backus and Shanker wins.
Justin says you're Hawkeye.
I could see that. I've actually gotten that before.
All right, there you go.
So
I also
enough.
did Chauncey a disservice because he grew up, just down the road from here. And back then he was known as Smooth, not Mr. Big Shot. That's his OG nickname. He still has it tatted on his arm, like super old, like you got when you were 16 looking tattoo.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, we got some super chats to get through first.
Do you want to hit those first?
Yeah, do the super chats first. Our guy Sean, what's up, man? He says he's taking us to Buc-ee's in Fort Worth.
Heck yeah. Y'all heard of Buc-ee's?
Oh,
I've
yeah,
heard
of
of it.
course.
Okay, thank God. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
What? Why does it have such a cult following?
Because it's the best. It's like asking me why I love Texas so much. It's
Why do
the
you love
best.
Texas so much?
It's the best.
Fair enough.
Dude, that thing is like, it's like a Costco, but gas station style.
All
Really.
right. I can get behind that for sure.
Yeah. It's sweet. Good food. Really nice bathrooms.
What's the food? What's the go-to order?
They have so much stuff. They have these beaver nuggets. It's like some kind of, it's not like chicken, but it's some type of treat. And
We're just gonna have to take your word for
Yeah.
it for that one.
just try
Beaver
it.
nuggets, I'll
Everyone
remember
loves
that.
them.
All right.
Who else is super chatting in? Big Teasy, what's up, dude? Area 51 is going to investigate Coach Mo and his practices. Some of these players' progress is not human. Hashtag Magic Mo. Shout out Coach Most.
Yeah, heck yeah. Shout out Coach Mo. I mean, Jimmy's huge.
Yeah. What about
Zay-
Travis?
Travis.
Travis has definitely put on weight. Like, he's a lot. I saw him. So we lift before everybody else, the specialists do. And then I'm watching Well Off, and Travis is hang cleaning or power cleaning 275.
Yeah.
I'm like, I did not think you were capable of that. I shouldn't be surprised. He did stuff in practice every day at Jackson State where I didn't think it was even humanly possible. And so y'all are gonna have so much fun watching him.
Hell yeah, man. He was squatting like 400 plus too
Yeah.
on max day.
Yeah.
You guys get your lift in early so you can go make your tea time?
Yeah, exactly. Don't
Where
tell
you
the other
playing?
guys. We play Flatirons.
Okay.
I almost,
grew up on that course. I grew up
Yeah.
5 minutes from there.
I almost got out of my car and played that City Park course. That thing
Dude,
looks sweet.
They just remodeled it like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's easily my favorite course to play, at least in Denver.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Flatirons is good though too.
Mhm.
It'll teach you to hit it straight.
Sure will.
Sean's vouching for the Beaver Nuggets.
Heck yeah, Sean. Let's go.
What do we
Seems
got?
like a branding issue for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
How's the kicking competition going? Big TZ wants to know.
I think we'll see more of it in camp, really. I mean, right now we're all just kind of working together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, coaches aren't allowed to be out there when we're practicing.
Right.
So we're just kind of just getting our fundamentals down. I probably won't touch football till Tuesday just because I'm going to be snapping for 5 months after that,
Yeah.
6 months. So, yeah. I mean, we'll see where it goes in fall camp, but there's not really too much to say right now.
Wayne, he wants to know which specialist is the fastest on the team, and since CU has arguably one of the fastest
Offenses.
one
in
of the
country.
one of the fastest offenses in the country.
Pound for pound, me.
There we
Let's
go.
go.
Love to hear it.
Overall, Cristiano Palazzo.
Really?
Yeah, he ran a 4.58, I think, the other day.
Wow.
Dude, he is jacked. He's my roommate. He only eats, which is a sad way to live. I'm just kidding. But he'll just eat white rice, beef, and cheese. And then, dude, he's jacked. He's super strong. He's like 5'9", 5'8.5", like 185. Benches 315, squats 405.
Damn.
He's all about
a
the gains,
dog.
huh?
Yes, he's a dog.
That's funny.
But I'm, like almost 40 more pounds than him, and
You can hang.
probably not.
No.
Maybe back in the day.
Angela, what's up? Do any of the other rooms have as much fun as your group does? And your group always brings the comic relief on Well Off and Reach the People. You guys do feel that really well.
I'd love to hear that. I mean, yeah, we don't get to make diving catches and score touchdowns, so I'm sure that they all have a lot more fun than us.
You get to
right?
make jokes though.
Yeah, true. We do get to make jokes.
How the hell are you?
Yeah, exactly. But no, I think the receivers have always, like, even at Jackson State, they've always had the most fun. Like, they're
Yeah.
always a super tight knit group because there's so many, and that room is always so deep,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, there's so many studs and a lot of Florida guys, so they all get along really well.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say it's also just like a very personality-driven position.
100%. Like, you don't get Antonio Brown if he's playing safety.
Right. That's
Yeah.
true.
Or Chad Ochocinco.
Yeah, 100%.
Mac Mill wants to know what your major is.
It's sociology. They made me do it. I just want to coach. I don't know. I've been seeing people think this might be the job for me. So
There we go.
I'd love to do it.
Hey,
yeah.
you've done fantastic.
Plenty
today,
of room
bro.
on
Thank
this
you.
set.
Yeah.
You're always welcome.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
It's funny because Tad Boyle told me if he could go back, knowing he was going to be a coach, he would have majored in psychology because he said coaching is very much a
Yeah.
lot of psychology and understanding the way guys think.
For sure. That's my
But sociology's,
fascination with it.
a close relative.
Yeah. That's my fascination with coaching. Is like there's so many different aspects of like making a team good, right? Like you can have the guys and still not be very good.
Yep.
Hence the Lakers this year. But
Sweet.
you know,
How much time do we have, Alyssa?
We can move stuff around if you guys want to keep going.
Let's go through a few more of these questions. These are good. Jared wants to know who the next buff should be on the show.
I'm trying to think. Oh man, Ben Finiseth.
Yeah?
Wow.
Yes,
Everyone loves Ben Finiseth.
Yeah.
dude, he is so funny.
All right.
He's awesome. Yeah, Ben for sure.
That's great.
Oh, Dre is pumping his fists in the air right now.
Yeah, I mean, Cam said like the same
I
thing.
know. Yep.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
We
great.
were like just asking about his teammates in his room, and he was like, "Dude, Ben Finiseth is so funny."
Oh my gosh, he'd be awesome.
All right, Ben, he's probably watching.
Yep.
Open
Drico.
invite, Ben.
Who's your favorite MLB team, Jacob?
Rangers.
Yeah?
We're back.
There you
Rangers
go.
are so back this year.
Our baseball team is so bad that we don't pay attention anymore.
Yeah, it's tough. I've been to some of the games. All-Star Game MVP.
Yes.
Yep.
That was sick, actually.
Yeah.
That was the highlight of our season. Maybe the highlight of our decade.
Take what you can get, right?
Big TZ again. Who has emerged as a leader? If you can speak on it, I'm sure you can.
Shador.
Of course.
I think Shador's definitely stepped up being a vocal leader. And then Jaquez Robinson, I believe.
Nice.
Is the last name from Bama.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he knows the standard, right?
Totally.
And like there's guys like me and Cam and JB. JB's a hell of a leader. Jeremiah Brown. But like we're guys that know what Coach Prime wants. So I think that's a big reason he brought us over too, is like to really not be like maybe not be the vocal leaders, but like tell each of our rooms what to expect.
Yeah.
Right. Like we might have a guy in nearly every room now.
Mm-hmm.
Like JB's playing D-line and linebacker. Travis is at corner. Cam at safety. I'm with me and Mato with the specialist group. Willie Gaines.
Tyler Brown.
Savion Wilkerson, running back, who's a dog.
Just about covers it.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Do you give me an example of a situation where you would like help out a guy just understanding kind of what Coach Prime expects?
We have to be very flexible with him. Like there's been times in practice where we're over like working on the other field while they're doing team, and he's just like punt, and I'm like, what on earth? Like I haven't snapped a punt snap today. This is my field goal day. But then like you just have to be ready for anything with him. And like expectations, like being early to meetings, dress code, things like that.
Does that make it kind of easy though, just knowing like, hey, if you show up early and you go get with the dress code and all this stuff, like the expectations are there. It's not like you're gonna get surprised by some new rule or something.
Right, and like those are the controllables.
Yep.
For us, like especially as a guy like me going to Jackson State, I was like, I have to control what I can control, because like if I don't, like they could drop me whenever they wanted to, like, as that brand new backup long snapper, right? So.
All right, let's run through a few more of these. Do you happen to know Coach Prime's favorite NBA team, if he has one? The chat really
Everyone
wants to know
this. Yeah.
I have no clue.
I don't think he has one.
I don't
We've
think
asked
he
every
cares.
person that knows him, and he doesn't have that answer.
I don't
The
think
chat
he
wants
cares.
to know.
I know he got his nickname from playing basketball in high
Really?
school.
Really?
Yeah. One of his buddies in high school said he was prime time because he was hooping back in the day, and that's how he got the nickname. Prime
Wow.
Time. Yeah.
My third grade basketball coach called me Showboat. I could have been the next prime time if I just stuck with it.
That's
Boat-
really not a bad nickname.
Boat doesn't flow off the tongue as good as Prime does, though.
Doesn't.
No.
Truckum and Tony wants to know, did you ever go to Stamps?
I didn't. I should have. It's Stamps is in Jackson. It's a burger spot in Jackson. I wish I did. I'm definitely gonna go back over there though at some point.
Nice.
And I got some people over there that I miss a little bit, so I got to go see them.
That's a kind of a cool thing about the whole experience, right? Is like you learn a little bit about a bunch of different places. Like obviously for you, Lubbock, Jackson, and now Boulder are like on your map. But even just like the little places that you've gone on road games and stuff, like as you get older and travel around the country, you'll be like, oh, I know of a great spot here or whatever it is. Like building kind of your own personal map of the world.
Yeah, like so many experiences I couldn't have dreamed of. Like at Jackson State, the first 2 games we opened at Hard Rock, which is where they play the college football playoff, which is super sweet. We played at the Jag Stadium. All these type of experiences that we get, super cool.
Isn't Jackson playing in like the Mercedes-Benz dome for game 1 this year?
Yeah, their thing is like start in Atlanta, finish in Atlanta.
Oh,
They
love
play,
that.
Yeah. I'm rooting for those guys. Like it's super cool because it's not a situation where like I hated it there and wanted to leave. I just wanted to be over here.
Yeah, you had an opportunity.
Right. And so like Coach TC is going to do great, and all those guys. Like I saw plenty of guys over there that I'm really rooting for. So I hope to see them do real well.
For sure. Yeah, we'll be pulling for him as well.
Yeah.
All right. Have you noticed a culture change from first arriving to CU and since the spring game to now?
100%. I think just a lot more guys that really want it. Like, there's a lot of Power 5 SEC guys that like it's now or never for them, right? A lot of guys getting ready to be eligible for the draft and whatnot. And like they have the blueprint now. Like we all have all the tools to really do whatever we want to do. And so now it's just up to us and the team trying to get to where we want to go.
And we talked about this a little with Cam too, but like, do you also feel Coach Prime taking a different approach towards the team as like this is the squad? You know, like in the spring it was kind of like, hey, some of these guys are going to be here, some of these guys aren't.
Yeah, 100%. But that's what I heard it was like at Jackson during that spring season. Like he was just kind of seeing where the team was at and then like who he needed to replace. And that's kind of how it felt this last spring, right?
Yep.
Like even I wasn't safe. Like I was still trying to work hard to try to stay on the team. And so, yeah, I think this year it's like we have what we need now. Like, let's go do it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
What's your number?
38.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
What does it mean to you? Is it just a number?
Sure is. I was trying to think of something on the spot. I couldn't think of anything.
I got one for you. This anytime anyone else asks you this question.
Okay.
Colorado, the 38th state.
I have seen that. It was so weird. I retweeted something. Yes. I retweeted that we're going to Big 12 that LeBron meme.
Yeah.
I like, can't believe this is my life right now. Yeah. But some dude was like, and I'm in that picture of y'all see me being like Yahoo Sports, like, please tag me next time. Bleacher Report, please tag me. Like, this isn't cool. Like, just messing around. But
got to get your credit.
Exactly. But some dude, like some random account, like some burner account retweeted. It was like, oh, this like conspiracy theory about 38 being in the picture, and I was like, it's weird.
Oh my
Weird
God.
folks, yeah.
Oh, gotta love Twitter. Lone Wolf, were you on campus for Charles Lester III's visit?
I don't know if we can.
Yeah,
go
I
down
don't think
this
we
road.
could talk about this.
How has the vibe been on campus this week?
Yeah, there you go.
We're just maxed, and we had an actually pretty tough workout yesterday, and so it's been pretty chill. Like this week, like I think everyone's just kind of finding time to relax before we really hit it on Tuesday, Wednesday, and go.
Do you love walking into the facility though and seeing that number on how many days until you play? Just keep getting lower and lower.
Yeah, it makes
and
me a
lower.
little anxious.
Let's go.
Gets my blood hot a little bit.
Last one. What's your favorite thing about being in Boulder, man?
Just being a part of a team of this like caliber. I think like as a kid, like it's what I've grown up wanting to do and wanting to be a part of, and like now that I'm doing it, like I said before, like in high school, and I was done playing with football, and now like I'm playing with house money now, right? Like I'm not supposed to be here.
That's
That's what a
awesome.
lot of people say, and now I'm here just because of taking the right opportunity, making the right decisions, and working real hard. And so, yeah, I'm super grateful for Coach Prime and what he's meant to me, like in a lot of different ways. And yeah, just being a part of this team and really helping bring back a program that needs to be brought back and is really good for. It'll be really good for college football when we're great again.
Hell yeah! Have
Can't
you
wait, man.
dreamt at all about running out behind Ralphie?
Yeah, I was doing that before the spring game, and then it freaking snowed on
Yeah.
April 22nd.
Yep.
What is up with that?
Welcome
But
to Colorado.
Yeah, no kidding.
It doesn't happen often, but
Yeah.
it did snow on the day that I graduated from CU in May.
Oh,
But usually the
Oh,
next day it's
no.
like
Yeah, it's Colorado.
nice and warm and sunny.
right.
That it?
That's all we got.
Man, you were awesome. Thank you for coming
Thank
down.
y'all.
We appreciate having you on. We'll have to get you back again very soon.
For sure, bro.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. This is great.
Open invite.
Yes, sir.
Heck yeah. Sounds good.
All right. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Let's go Buffs.